It's a firefly night. When the moon is high and the stars are bright, Daddy tells me it's a firefly night. I hop off the porch. I feel the air warming my legs and messing my hair. Grass tickles my toes. I zip through the yard, chasing fireflies, gotcha, to put in my jar. Fireflies shimmer. One, two, 3, 4, 5. My jar's like a light bulb that's just come alive. Fireflies glimmer, all of them glow. I race to show Daddy their dancing light show. Flickering quicker, they sparkle and shine. I love catching fireflies, but they are not mine. I take one gently out of the jar. My hand is a cage for one tiny star. Uncurling my hand, easy and slow, I whisper, goodbye, then I let it go. Soon, many fireflies open their wings. They flitter and flutter, soar over my swings. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6. Drift through moonlight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blink in the night. We walk back to the house. I hold Daddy's hand tight. Will tomorrow, I ask, be a firefly night? On hot summer days, fireflies rest in tall grass or on the leaves of plants and trees. They like to fly around between dusk and midnight when the air is damp and cool. Fireflies range in size from 1/5 inch to 1 inch in length. Although commonly called a firefly or lightning bug, this insect is really a beetle. Fireflies need moist habitats. They are found around swampy and grassy areas, often at the edge of creeks, streams, and ponds. The firefly grows in stages, from egg to larva to adult insect. Some larvae give off light. When that happens, people call them glowworms. Because they live only 3 to 4 weeks, most adult fireflies do not eat. A female firefly will lay up to 500 eggs on the underside of leaves, in moss, or in water. Scientists believe fireflies light up in rhythmic patterns to attract mates or to warn one another about dangers. Farmers and gardeners love fireflies because the larvae eat many snails, slugs, and other pests. There are over 2,000 firefly species. The end.
Energy animated. Energy is all around us. It makes things move. It heats things up. And it can make things glow to give us light. All the gadgets we depend on need energy to work. But where does that energy come from? Some forms of energy come from deep within the ground. We pump oil and gas out of deep holes that we drill. We dig under the ground to find coal and uranium. Coal is a black rock that can be used to make fire. Uranium is a radioactive metal that gets very hot as it decays. We process these materials and bring them to a power plant. Both coal and uranium can be used as fuel to heat water and create steam. The steam goes through a fan called a turbine to generate electricity. Another source of energy is the sun. The light from the sun is very warm and bright. We can use mirrors to focus the heat onto a single point to create steam. We can also use solar panels to absorb the light and generate electricity. This only works during the day, though. We can also get energy from the wind. The wind blows through big fans called wind turbines that generate electricity. When wind blows over the ocean, it makes waves. The waves move buoys up and down, and we can capture that energy too. Water can store energy. We make large dams to hold the water in big lakes. When we let the water out through a turbine, we generate more electricity. The sun heats the water to make clouds, and then the rain fills the lake with more water. All of the electricity from these sources gets collected at power stations. From there, long power lines bring the electricity to your house. We're always thinking of new ways to get energy. Thanks to energy from deep in the earth, high in the sky, and around us in water and air, we can light up large cities and power planes, cars, and boats. The end.
Little Heroes, Inventors Who Changed the World. Kai Loon. Little Kai liked watching wasps make their delicate nests from strips of bamboo. In AD 105, Kai gathered tiny pieces of bark, old rags, and fishing nets. He mixed them together, pressed the mixture flat, and dipped it in water. When the sheet dried, presto! Kai had invented the first piece of paper. Johannes Gutenberg. Like a new star, it shall scatter the darkness of ignorance and cause a light heretofore unknown to shine amongst men. Little Johannes lived at a time when hardly anyone had books because it took too long to write out copies by hand. Around 1439, Johannes set metal letters down in a block. Adding ink and paper, Johannes created the first printing press. He could print thousands of pages in no time. Ideas started spreading around the globe. Leonardo da Vinci. Learning never exhausts the mind. Little Leonardo was curious about everything. He watched, he measured, he wrote, he wondered. He drew plans for machines that became real hundreds of years later, like a submarine, bicycle, and helicopter. With his greatest tool, a paintbrush, Leonardo invented ways to paint that made him the most famous artist in the world. Thomas Edison. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Little Thomas was always reading and asking questions. One question was, why must I use dirty, smelly gas lamps to light my home at night? He began to tinker with light bulbs. In 1879, after hundreds of failed attempts, he finally found a way to keep one lit. Now people all over the world use electricity to see in the dark. Louis Pasteur. To know how to wonder and question is the first step toward discovery. Little Louis lived when no one really knew why people got sick. Using his microscope, he looked and looked and looked for the answer. Finally, Louis discovered something no one else could see: germs. He found that if you boiled the germs, they went away. In 1885, Louis learned that germs could protect people too. Since then, Louis's vaccines have saved millions of lives. Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Little Marie loved to study elements, materials that come from the earth. She tested a special rock until she found a strange glowing blue light. What could it be? Marie had discovered a brand new element, radium. Doctors soon found that radium could fight off deadly cancers. In 1903, Marie was the first woman to ever win a Nobel Prize. The Wright brothers. Isn't it astonishing that all these secrets have been preserved for so many years just so we could discover them? Little Wilbur and Orville were brothers who liked to tinker with machines. One day, their father brought home a toy helicopter that flew. They wanted to fly too. They studied the wings, the tail, and everything they needed to know about flight. Crashing never discouraged them for long. Finally, in 1903, they flew the first airplane. Grace Murray Hopper. If you've got a good idea and you know it's going to work, go ahead and do it. Little Grace loved learning about math, science, and cool gadgets. Once, she took apart 7 alarm clocks just to see how the gears worked.
When she got older, Grace figured out how to program a room-sized computer to respond to human language, not just number codes. Now people all over the world can use computers every day. These heroes imagined and invented a better world. What kind of hero will you be?
Physics Animated. Isaac Newton was a man who liked to watch the world around him. He noticed that everything could be explained by 3 simple laws. Newton's first law, inertia. The first law is called inertia. This means an object will stay still unless something pushes or pulls on it. Inertia also means that an object that is moving will keep moving until something makes it stop. Newton's second law. Force equals mass times acceleration. The second law says that the harder you push or pull something, the faster it will move. When an object is heavy, you have to push or pull much harder to make it move. Gravity. Gravity is a force from the Earth that pulls on everything. That's why things fall when we drop them. Newton's third law. The third law says that when you push on something, it pushes back just as much. That's why we don't fall through the floor. Our feet push on the floor, and the floor pushes back on us. These 3 laws can be used to explain how things will move when we apply a force. Friction. Sometimes it is hard to move things. Friction is the force between 2 objects that resists motion, making it harder to move. Buoyancy. Buoyancy is an example of the third law. A boat pushes on the water, and the water pushes back on the boat, making it float. Centrifugal force. A centrifugal force pushes outward on an object moving in a curve, like a roller coaster going around a loop. Centripetal force. A centripetal force makes an object move in a curved path, like a swing. Lift. The wings on an airplane change the direction of the air. Changing direction means a force is pushing on the air. The air pushes back on the wings, creating lift. That's why airplanes can fly. Thrust. When a rocket launches into space, the force coming out creates an equal force in the opposite direction, up. This force is called thrust.
Lines that wiggle. Lines that wiggle. Lines that bend. Whoa. Wavy lines from end to end. Lines that tickle. Lines that sprout. Bugs have lines that stick right out. Ooh. Lines to trap. Lines to hide. Two lines running side by side. Yeah. Lines that curve. Lines that curl. Wee. Underwater lines that swirl. Lines that crisscross. Oh, man. Lines that mend. Lines with doggies at the end. Lines that scurry. Whoa. Lines in threes. Lines and leaves that grow on trees. Lines that twist. Lines that sway. Lines that swish the flies away. Zigzag lines light up the sky. Rainbow lines are way up high. Lines are everywhere you look. Find some lines not in this book.
My first science textbook. Atoms. to the atoms that build everything you see. Your hands, this book, the air, giraffes, and every single tree. If you want to make an atom, the recipe starts with protons and neutrons. Squish them together, use high heat, and sprinkle in electrons. The strong force holds the nucleus tight, while electrons get to race. They fly so far from the nucleus that atoms are mostly empty space. Fluorine, lithium, fluoride. When atoms get together, electrons are for sharing and taking. These covalent and ionic bonds are molecules in the making. Covalent bond. Ionic bond. There is a special word for when atoms look and act the same. It's called an element, and each element has a name. Hydrogen, 1. Helium, 2. Chlorine, 17. Helium, 2. Lithium, 3. Calcium, 20. Silver, 47. Fluorine, 9. Elements go in increasing order on the periodic table. Atomic number, mass, chemical symbol, there are a lot of labels. Atomic number, the number of protons. Chemical symbol, name. Atomic mass, the number of protons and neutrons. These universal particles are the same on Earth as they are on Mars. Atoms compose each tiny speck from here to distant stars. You contain galaxies of atoms, so protons, neutrons, and electrons too. You live in the universe, and a universe lives in you.
Mae the Mayfly. Near the bank of the river, one warm spring day, a new life began, and her name was Mae. Mama held Mae in a warm, tender hug, then said goodbye to her sweet baby bug. You have your whole life, a day, perhaps more. Don't waste it, Mae. Use your wings and explore. Her delicate wings were feathery light. With a flit and a flutter, Mae took off in flight. There was so much to see and so much to know. But a dangerous thing was lurking below. It was big. It was hungry. It needed to eat. A newly hatched mayfly would make a great treat. Disguising its dark and deceitful sneer, it pleasantly said, "Come closer, my dear. I have something here that you really must see, but you're too far away. Come closer to me." A voice inside her warned, "Mae, don't go." But Mae didn't listen and swooped down too low. It sprang from the water, and that's when Mae saw 2 rows of sharp teeth and a menacing jaw. It snapped its mouth tight to gobble up Mae. But she ducked and she darted and somehow got away. Mae found safety in the hollow of a tree. She covered her eyes and tried not to breathe. Her body shuddered at the thought of trout. "I'll stay here forever. I'm not coming out." But when her heart slowed, Mae heard a sweet sound. Peeking out slowly, she looked all around. A robin nearby gave a cheerful tweet, then flew to her babies with something to eat. The mist on the river was a fine pink cloak. A bullfrog bellowed his morning croak. Mae noticed the beauty of a web in the sun, the glittering silk the spider had spun. Mama was right. There's so much to see. I can't live my life inside this tree. So Mae launched herself from the dark, hollow place. A greeting from the sun put a smile on her face. Mae followed the river along as it flowed. She saw cattails swaying and a stubby toad. And bounding along without a care, 2 cubs following Mama Bear. There were bluebells in clusters offering up for Hummingbird a cool drink from their cups. A newborn fawn on wobbly knees, and then in a clearing, Mae could see a singing, dancing jamboree, a wild mayfly jubilee. Joining in, Mae danced with glee. The day rambled on and shadows grew long. Nature was singing its afternoon song. Mae floated along on a warm, gentle breeze when faintly she heard a desperate plea. With shaky wings, she followed the sound, but Mae stopped cold at what she found. Snagged in a mess, his body still, the only movement from his gill. Mae inched closer, slow, unsure. Afraid again, he'd lunge at her. The trout was weak, no flip or flail. Tangled line had caught his tail. Mae's eyes lingered on Trout's jaw, but this time there was more she saw. The snag had taken all Trout's fight, yet his colors shimmered in the light. Rainbow stripes in every hue, silver, pink, and shades of blue. Mae saw a scar where once he'd fought to keep himself from being caught. And when her gaze met Trout's scared eyes, we're not so different, Mae then realized. The fear she had felt, Mae now forgot, and she quickly started on the knot. The knot so tight, her progress slow. But then, at last, the line let go. The river carried Trout away. Mae wondered, will he be okay? The silence was broken with a startling splash. Scanning the river, Mae saw a flash. Breaking the surface and catching the light, Trout flipped his tail and waved good night. And then an echo on the wind that blew, 2 simple, precious words. Thank you. Her spirits matching the river's glow, Mae settled in for the nighttime show. Crickets and bullfrogs played their sweet tune, while fireflies twinkled beneath the full moon. The stars came out early for sweet little Mae. She counted each one, then called it a day. The end.
My first science textbook, Electrons. I'm Ellie the Electron, a particle with class. I'm negatively charged and have very little mass. attracted to the proton. I'm almost 2,000 times smaller than it. More electrons could fit on this dot. Then there are people on the planet. Population 7.7 billion. I speed far from the nucleus, quite unpredictably. I mostly fly around in a cloud of probability. Pick which you'd like to calculate, my speed or my location. You can't know both at once. It's an uncertain situation. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Look around this room. See anything that's glowing? If it's powered by electricity, that means electrons are flowing. When it's cold and dry in winter, electrons build up when you walk. Touch something and I'll jump to balance out. You'll feel a static shock. Electrons are mysterious, and we change how we behave. Watch close and we act like particles. Turn your back and we act like waves. For the win! If we were in a race, we could circle the world in 18 seconds. Electrons are a part of the atom, but we are subatomic legends.
Fossil by fossil. Comparing dinosaur bones. Can you imagine what you'd look like if you were a dinosaur? Oh, you might be pretty funny looking. Or even quite scary. On the outside, people and dinosaurs look very, very different. But on the inside, we're actually very similar. In fact, the bones that make up our skeletons are mostly the same. How can we know this? Dinosaurs are all dead, right? Lucky for us, some of their bones have lasted as fossils, bones that have turned to stone over time. Parasaurolophus. Dinosaurs and people all have skulls, and vertebrae, and ribs. And we all have shoulder bones, and arm bones, and finger bones. Scapula, humerus, ulna, radius, carpals, metacarpals, phalanges. And we all have hip bones, and leg bones, and toe bones. Ilium, pubis, ischium, femur, tibia, fibula, tarsals, metatarsals, phalanges. But some dinosaurs had some extra bones in their bodies that made them different from us. Can you imagine what you might look like if we added some bones to your body? What if you had a bony ridge that rose up from the back of your skull and 3 horns poking up from the front? What kind of dinosaur would you look like then? A triceratops! Scientists think this dinosaur used its horns for fighting. The bony ridge in the back is called a frill. It probably helped protect a triceratops's neck and shoulders. What kind of dinosaur would you be if you had rows of chunky triangle-shaped bones along your back? And you also had an enormous ball of bone stuck onto the end of your vertebrae. An ankylosaurus! The bones on the end of this dinosaur's tail weighed more than 60 pounds, 27 kilograms. That's about as heavy as the average 7-year-old kid. Scientists think that this dinosaur used its club tail as a weapon. They think it could swing and hit hard enough to scare off predators as big as a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Ankylosaurus also had plates of bones set into its skin for protection, just like an armadillo does. What kind of dinosaur would you be if you had flat, diamond-shaped bones above your vertebrae, starting at your neck and continuing all the way down your spine? A Stegosaurus! Why did this dinosaur have these plates of bone? Scientists have argued about this for a long time. Some think the plates helped Stegosaurus soak up the sun and stay warm. Others think they might have just been there to impress other dinosaurs. Kind of like a fancy outfit. What scientists do agree on is that the sharp, spiky bones at the end of Stegosaurus's tail were probably used for defense. What if we added lots and lots of extra vertebrae in your neck And what if your vertebrae didn't stop at your rear end, but kept going and going and going? What kind of dinosaur would you be then? A diplodocus. Other sauropods, including brachiosaurs, argentinosaurs, and apatosaurus, are also correct answers. Diplodocus was one of the long-necked dinosaurs, or sauropods. This dinosaur had 15 vertebrae in its neck and 80 vertebrae in its tail. From head to tail, it was about 88 feet, 27 meters long. That's about as long as 3 school buses parked bumper to bumper. What kind of dinosaur would you be if your arm bones were really small compared to your leg bones? And you had only 2 sets of finger bones on each hand instead of 5. Here's a big hint. You'd also have dagger-like teeth lining your jaw. A Tyrannosaurus Rex! This dinosaur walked upright on its 2 back legs like a person or a bird. Scientists think it might have used its puny front legs to help it get up after lying down for a rest. The teeth, well, you know what the teeth were for, right? Dinosaurs were prehistoric reptiles that lived on land. But they weren't the only interesting reptiles alive at that time. Others swam in the oceans or flew in the sky. Imagine that your skull ended in a very long, pointy snout, and your nostrils were high up on your head. Not only that, your arm bones and leg bones were so short they looked like paddles. What kind of prehistoric reptile would you be? An ichthyosaur! Ichthyosaurs were similar to dolphins. Not only did their bones look alike, but they were also warm-blooded, ate fish, and had babies that came out tail first, just like dolphins. They used their paddle-shaped limbs for swimming. How about if your pinky bones grew really, really long and a membrane of skin was attached to these bones? What kind of prehistoric reptile would you be if this happened? A pterosaur! Pterosaurs were the first animals with bones that could fly. Sadly, we will never meet any of these animals in person because they are extinct. But there is one type of dinosaur that has actually survived. You may have even seen one already today. What kind of animal would you be if you were a dinosaur living on Earth right now? A bird! Scientists now consider birds to be dinosaurs. Like the pterosaur, birds also use their finger bones for flying. But instead of flying with their pinky bones, birds use their first 3 fingers. So, if you want to find a dinosaur, go outside and look around. You're very likely to see one.
My first science textbook, Protons and Neutrons. I'm Pete the Proton. I'm positively charged to meet you. I'm a subatomic particle. Our introduction is overdue. When it comes to an element's identity, protons are the defining trait. Find 6 of us in carbon. In oxygen, find 8. C, carbon. O, oxygen. This is Ned the Neutron. He's neutral and important, too. He makes up nearly half of everything's mass. So he makes up nearly half of you. I'm 50% neutrons. Protons and neutrons are tiny. You can't see us with your eye. But no matter the state of matter, guess what? You'll find me and this guy. Solid, liquid, gas. Our playground is the nucleus, and it's where we like to stay. Isotopes have extra neutrons. But too many neutrons may decay. Carbon 12, carbon 14. Nucleus. The strong force keeps us stuck like glue. Splitting us is a tough mission. Our reaction? Explosively energetic! It's called nuclear fission. I'm attracted to electrons. Our charges are equal and opposite. Ned is unaffected, but my attraction is quite passionate. BFF! Best friends forever! B, boron. N, nitrogen. When protons, neutrons, and electrons team up, we are the best of friends. Together, we build the universe. Our influence never ends.
Olivia's Tower. The building power of cells. Olivia loved building towers. She used every block she had to build a tower taller than her head. Impressive, Olivia's mom said. Everything around us is built like blocks in a tower. Everything? Olivia wondered. She looked out the window. No blocks. She looked at her house. There were bricks, but no blocks. She looked at the playground. No blocks. Olivia knew her mom was trying to teach her something, but what was it? Olivia's mom is a scientist, and she understood the world in a detailed way. Maybe if Olivia thought like a scientist, she would know why her mom said everything is built like blocks in a tower. Olivia remembered going with her mom to the laboratory. She loved watching the scientists work. They all wore white coats. They worked with cool things called microscopes, petri dishes, beakers, scales, flasks, and graduated cylinders. Flasks, glass containers that hold laboratory liquids. Their shape helps to keep the liquid from spilling. Scales, used for determining the weight or mass of a sample. Test tube, a thin glass tube closed at one end, used to hold small amounts of material for laboratory testing or experiments. Beakers, a lipped cylindrical glass container for laboratory use. Microscope, an optical instrument used for viewing very small objects, such as mineral samples or animal or plant cells, typically magnified several hundred times. Petri dish, a shallow, circular, transparent dish with a flat lid used for the culture of microorganisms. Olivia's mom told her to be very careful around the Bunsen burners because of their hot, open flame. Olivia thought the science lab was a magical universe. The scientists asked a question. They used their tools to do experiments. Then they found answers to their questions. Sometimes the experiment didn't work like they expected. When this happened, they still gathered information that they used for their next experiment. Then they started all over again after they cleaned all of their tools. One time, Olivia's mom asked her to help with an experiment involving plants. Olivia's mom was growing plants and looking at them under the microscope. Olivia loved to look in the microscope. A small piece of a plant looked completely different under the lens. Olivia could see the individual cells of the plant. They looked like blocks. Olivia's mom told her there were different types of cells that make up all plants and animals. Inside each cell, there were individual parts that each had a job. The nucleus is like the brain of the cell. It stores and protects a special strand of codes called DNA, which gives a plan to the rest of the cell. Nucleus, mitochondrion, ribosomes, Golgi complex, Olivia remembered that the ribosomes in a cell were like construction workers because they link amino acids together to make proteins. Another funny name Olivia remembered was the Golgi apparatus. Its job is kind of like a post office because it packages and transports proteins and other molecules out of the cell. The Golgi apparatus sends things to the places they need to be. The energy they need to do this work is made in the mitochondria. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell. It was fun for Olivia to think about how a little piece of a plant could show her a brain, a post office, construction workers, and powerhouses. Wait a minute, Olivia said. Everything around us is built like blocks in a tower. The cells are the blocks! And when you put a lot of those cells together, you can build anything. Plants, animals, even people. Olivia imagined her blocks being like a cell. Each one would fit in a certain way until it created exactly what it was meant to be. Instead of building a tower, She used a group of blocks to make a dog. With a big pile of blocks, she made a whale. Then with another group of blocks, she made a flower.
Oh.
Mom! Olivia said, pointing to her creations. Everything is built like blocks in a tower.
Women in biology.
Come on, let's go. What makes a butterfly?
A caterpillar grows into a butterfly. But nobody knew exactly how that change, which is called metamorphosis, happened. Until Maria Sibela Marion. She loved insects so much that she spent years watching and drawing them. She traveled across the ocean to study the life cycles of caterpillars and other bugs. Maria's drawings were very detailed and beautiful, and they gave scientists important information about insects and plants.
Hello.
Her drawings were used in the Linnaean system that organizes all living things. This system is important in all of biology.
Hang on. What is biology?
Well, if we compared you and a rock, we'd find a lot of differences. But the biggest one is that you're alive, and a rock isn't. Biology looks at everything that is alive, like plants, animals, and you. People have been studying life for a long time. Almost 1,000 years ago, Hildegard of Bingen wrote about biology and medicine. Back then, people didn't understand that they could get sick from drinking dirty water. Hildegard figured out that water should be cleaned first, and this stopped people from getting sick. She also studied how plants could be used as medicines and shared her ideas so people could have better health.
Oh, so biology keeps me from getting sick?
It can, because biology teaches us all about how the body works. When we know what makes us sick, then we can find ways to get better. Just look at Jane Cook Wright. She was a doctor who saved many lives by running experiments in her laboratory. She grew cells in petri dishes and then watched what different medicines did to the cells. Her observations helped her pick the best treatments to give her patients.
What are cells?
All living things are made of cells. Your body is made up of trillions. Each cell has its own special job. Muscle cells help you move, and skin cells protect your body. The cells inside your nose help you smell. Linda Buck won a Nobel Prize because she helped discover that nose cells have tiny message receivers called receptors. When different smells hit the receptors, the cells send messages to your brain. That's why, even if you closed your eyes, you could smell the difference between a flower and a dog.
Wow. But how does a cell know its special job?
Inside of every cell is an instruction manual called DNA. It's the blueprint or plan for your whole body. DNA tells the body how to make cells and build body parts like muscles, bones, and skin. It also determines the color of your eyes and hair and is what makes you, you. But DNA is not just in people's cells. It's also found in all living things. Barbara McClintock studied DNA in corn and discovered something completely amazing. By observing the colors in corn kernels, she learned that parts of DNA, genes, can actually switch places. She named these jumping genes transposons. Transposons were such a surprise that it was many years before people realized she was right and awarded her a Nobel Prize. Barbara loved figuring out tricky problems. When she made a hypothesis or scientific guess, she worked hard on her research and experiments to find answers. And it's a good thing, because her work with DNA and transposons taught us so much about our genes and DNA. You can start researching right now.
Whoa!
Pick something that you like and ask a question.
Okay. Why do butterflies have different colors?
Go on and take your own guess. That's your hypothesis. Then observe by looking closer, 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 and see if you're right. You may be surprised by the results.
Sims Taback's Dinosaurs. Who am I? My back legs are shorter than my front legs. I have a long tail. And a long neck. I like to eat tree leaves. Nom, 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 nom. I am one of the tallest dinosaurs. I'm a Brachiosaurus! Who am I? I have short legs and a thick tail.
Color train. All aboard the color train. Let's have some painting fun. The artists of the world will teach the colors one by one. Step right up to board and give your ticket to Van Gogh. Have your paper? Have your paints? All right now, here we go. Little Cézanne painted still red apples. Little Gwen John painted a vermilion blouse. Little Duncanson painted an orange lock. Little David painted Napoleon's canary cloak. Little Van Gogh painted yellow sunflowers. Little Van Eyck painted a chartreuse dress. Little Seurat painted a green lawn for Sunday afternoons. Little Cassat painted a teal sunbonnet. Little Hokusai painted a great blue wave. Little Friedrich painted a periwinkle sea of fog. Little Monet painted a pond of purple lilies. Little Fragonard painted a frilly pink dress. Little Vermeer painted a brilliant white pearl. Whistler painted his mother in a black dress. Little Da Vinci painted a mysterious ochre smile. Little Rembrandt painted a dark brown night of watching. Little Klimt painted a woman in gold. Little Archimboldo painted with a full rainbow of fruits and vegetables.
Allegro. A magical journey through 11 musical masterpieces. One rainy afternoon, Allegro sat at the old family piano. He was plink, trying to plunk, practice his latest bonk piece. But slam! It just wasn't going well. I hate this music, Allegro said. He crumpled it up into a tiny ball and threw it on the floor. There it lay, like a pale dot against the dark wood. But dots are funny things, because if they grow lines, and more lines, and march in lines, they become something that just might transport you to magical places. Away Allegro went, carried off on the sounds of enchanting melodies. He danced with the sailors of wind-tossed ships. He walked in the fragrant meadows of morning's first light. And he explored the shores of uncharted lands. Some melodies were sad and made his heart ache. Some were triumphant and made his heart swell. At times, he wanted to dance a jig. Times, he wanted to march and sing. the best of times, he wanted to stand up and shout with joy. I am Allegro! And then slowly, like the dimming light of the setting moon, the music faded. And Allegro was back home. It was still time to practice. So he did. And he did. And he did.
Taback's city animals. Who am I? I have soft fur. I have stripes. I have whiskers. They help me see in the dark. I can purr and meow. I am a cat. Who am I? I walk on all fours. My paws are padded for protection. I can wag my tail. I sometimes wear a collar and a leash. I can bark. I can growl. I am a dog. Who am I? I can walk, run, and gallop on my four legs. I have a mane. I have pointy ears. I am wearing a halter. Yay! I whinny. I snort. I am a horse. Who am I? I can perch on the edge of a building. I have feathers. Sometimes I like to stand on one leg. My beak is yellow, and my eyes are pink. I can coo. I am a pigeon. Who am I? I am small. I have a small head. I have small ears. I have a long tail. I do not bite people. I squeak. I squeal. I am a mouse. Who am I? I eat leaves, seeds, and nuts. But I like acorns the best. I have a bushy tail. I am terrific at climbing. I can even walk on power lines. I have big black eyes. I make lots of noises. Squeaks, barks, and grunts. I am a squirrel. The end.
Hi, kids. Let's meet a doctor.
Hello, Doctor.
Chapter 1. The Youngest Patients.
Hello.
Our class is on a mission. We want to find out what a doctor does. We decide to talk to Dr. Zambil. He's a pediatrician. That's a doctor who treats children. Doctors are workers in the community. A community is a group of people who live in the same city, town, or neighborhood. I help kids feel their best, he says.
How do you do that?
Asks Jaden. Dr. Zambil explains by telling us about his day. Dr. Zambil works in a clinic. He sees about 20 patients each day. They are babies, children, and teenagers. Some are sick or hurt. I find out what's wrong, he says. They may need medicine. They may need to rest. Sometimes they need to go to the hospital. Doctors write prescriptions for medicine. A prescription tells a pharmacist what medicine a patient needs. Here you go. It also tells the patient when to take the medicine. Sick or injured children may see a specialist. A specialist is a doctor who treats one part of the body, such as the heart. Some specialists are also pediatricians. JJ raises his hand.
I went to the hospital when I was little, but I'm better now.
Good, Dr. Zambil says. That's our goal. We want you to be healthy so you can reach your goals too.
My goal is to be a tightrope walker,
Nick says. Uh-oh, Dr. Zambiel says. Chapter 2. Checkups.
I went to the doctor when I wasn't sick,
Katya says. That's good, Dr. Zambiel says. Kids should see a doctor once a year for checkups. He checks their ears. He listens to their hearts. He asks if they eat healthy food. He asks if they run around. These things help kids stay well. Okay, hold still. Doctors examine ears with a tool called an otoscope. They listen to the heart with a stethoscope. Shots make you immune to some diseases, such as measles. That means your body protects itself from the germs that cause the disease.
Do you give kids shots?
Paul asks. Don't worry, dear. You'll be just fine. Nurses do, Dr. Zambiel says. They took classes. That didn't hurt a bit, did it? They know how to make the shots hurt less. Chapter 3. Doctor School.
Did you have to take classes too?
Asks Paul. Yes, lots of them, Dr. Zambiel says. We learned that Dr. Zambiel went to grade school for 9 years, high school for 4 years, and college for 4 years. Then he had medical school and training for 7 years. That's 24 years of school, and a lot of homework. Medical school lasts 4 years. Then students become residents and fellows. They see patients. Other doctors help them. This takes 3 to 10 years. When I'm not at the clinic, I teach, Dr. Zambiel says.
Like Ms. Wynn,
we say, looking at our teacher. Yes, but I don't teach in a classroom, he says. I teach at the hospital. My students learn to be doctors by seeing real patients. Open wide. Wider. That's it. Medical students spend time at a hospital during every year of medical school. Experienced doctors teach them how to treat patients. Lainey raises her hand.
I was a real patient. I went to the hospital when I broke my arm.
You probably had an X-ray. Dr. Zambiel holds one up.
That's what it looks like on the inside. Oh, I want one.
X-rays are pictures that show the bones and organs inside your body. But most of the time, these aren't needed during a visit to the doctor. We all want to tell Dr. Zambiel about our injuries, but he has to go see patients. And we have to go to recess. Running around keeps us healthy. Because Dr. Zambil lends a hand to help us feel our best, we give him a hand. Aw, thanks, kids.
"100 First Words for Little Geniuses." Adiabatic expansion. Carnot cycle. Stoichiometry. Ideal gas. Catalyst. Endothermic. Exothermic. Diffusion. Entropy. Arrhenius equation. Angstrom. Periodic table. Atom. Neutron. Proton. Electron. Quark. Beaker. Bunsen burner. Hydrocarbon. Capacitor. Current. Array. Loop. Semiconductor. Voltage. Charge. MOSFET. Transistor. Asteroid. Constellation. Comet. Galaxy. Nebula. Black hole. Solar flare. Thrust. Gravity. Bernoulli's equation. Laminar flow. Turbulent flow. Cell. Nucleus. Mitochondria. Ribosomes. Lipid bilayer. Mitosis. Osmosis. Flagellum. Kingdom. Genus. Avant-garde. Cubism. Ethos. Pathos. Logos. Comedy. Tragedy. Transcendentalism. Vitruvian Man. Sonnet. Pavlov's dog. Schrodinger's cat. Metals. Non-metals. Crystal lattice. Crystal plane. Refractive index. Spectroscopy. Plasma. Noble gases. Polymers. Eigenvalue. Eigenvector. Fibonacci sequence. Euler equation. Pi. Integral. Derivative. Differential equation. Pythagorean theorem. Quadratic formula. Force. Velocity. Insulator. Relativity. Inertia. Static electricity. Friction. Conductor. Acceleration. Adsorption. Absorption. Quantile plot. Histogram. Price. Supply. Demand. Boundary layer. Median. Normal distribution. The end.
Pierre the Penguin. A true story. This is the true story of Pierre, a little penguin in a big museum. It is also about the people at the California Academy of Sciences who worked together to help him through a hard time. Down at the end of African Hall, past statues of animals, big and small. there's an aquarium, wide and tall, with real live penguins, 20 in all. African penguins don't like ice. For them, a warmer place is nice. Here comes Pam with fish in her pail. The penguins are fed twice a day without fail. Pam enters the tank through the sky-painted wall. A hidden door there leads out to a hall. Some of the penguins look just the same. Wingbands help Pam call the birds by name. One day, aquatic biologist Pam, observing the penguins, saw one in a jam. Gently, gently, she examined Pierre. His feathers were gone. His bottom was bare. Pierre was afraid to go for a swim. He'd get too cold if he dived right in. How can I help you? What can I do? Pam had ideas and tried the first two. She tried a heater and the vet prescribed pills, but nothing worked. Pierre shivered still. The other penguins grew afraid of Pierre. He looked so strange that he gave them a scare. They braided him as he shivered on shore. They made him feel worse than he felt before. One rainy day, biologist Pam came up with a new idea. Shazam! My dog wears a raincoat, she told the vet. Could Pierre wear a wetsuit? The vet said, you bet. Pam and a friend worked day and night to make a pattern that fit just right. Then, a company that works with neoprene made the smallest wetsuit you've ever seen. Carefully, Pam put on Pierre a wetsuit a featherless penguin could wear. Standing on a rock in his new wetsuit, Pierre the Penguin looked mighty cute. He felt nice and warm, and he wanted to swim. So what did he do? He dived right in. Splash! Whee! Now Pierre stood proud and tall, and nobody braided him at all. 6 weeks went by, and then a surprise. Pam could hardly believe her eyes. Not only was Pierre no longer cold, he had new feathers. Observe and behold. Now warm in water, now warm on shore. Guess who didn't need his wetsuit anymore? Pierre made a nest for his very best friend. Their story goes on, thanks to Pam. The end.
Let's take a look, shall we? Let's meet a veterinarian. Chapter 1. Even tigers say, ah. Today, our class is having a visitor. We want to know what a veterinarian does. We invited Dr. Kate, the veterinarian. Hello, kids. She helps us take care of Henry. Henry is our class guinea pig. He is also Dr. Kate's patient. Veterinarians are people in the community. A community is a group of people who live in the same city, town, or neighborhood. I help keep animals healthy, says Dr. Kate. Dr. Kate gives Henry a checkup. She checks his eyes and ears. They look great. Aw, great job, Henry.
Oh, can I be next?
Asks Ethan. Dr. Kate says veterinarians don't see human patients. Veterinarians, also called vets, are doctors for animals. But their work can help people stay healthy too. Some animal illnesses can make people sick. Vets find cures for those illnesses. Then they share the cures with people doctors. Let's take a look, shall we? Perfect. Dr. Kate is a small animal vet. She treats pets such as dogs and rabbits. Good boy. Small animal vets work in an office. Their patients visit them there. But vets for farm or zoo animals go to their patients. An elephant can't fit in a waiting room after all. There are also vets for large animals and wild animals. They help out at farms and zoos. Even tigers say, ah!
Ooh, tiger breath. Looks good. Yes, I see.
Yes.
This pig is very healthy because his tail is curly.
Yes. Vets go to a special school. They study how to care for animals.
When you check a pig's ear, you must lift it up to see inside.
They learn about protecting them in zoos, on farms, and in your home.
Yes.
Then they can help other animal helpers, like wildlife rescuers and pet owners. Before people become veterinarians, they make a promise. They say the veterinarian's oath. Part of the oath is promising they'll be kind to animals. A kind doctor can be the best medicine. Chapter 2, Hairy Henry. Yikes! What happened to Henry's fur?
Oh, Henry, you're so
little fuzzy.
He looks like Joy's fuzzy pencil.
They're both fluffy.
Dr. Kate has just the thing for messy hair. A brush.
Ta-da!
She says it's one of the many tools vets use. Brush, brush, brush. Good job, Henry. Phew! All better. Some pets love getting messy, but naughty fur or muddy paws can make them sick. So vets groom their patients. Groom means to clean. Vets trim beaks, wash hooves, and even brush teeth. Pet owners can learn how to groom their pets by watching a vet. Sometimes an animal has problems with its fur, scales, or feathers. A dog can get bugs that make its body itchy. Here you are, sir. 1 pill a day and a good long bath. Don't worry, buddy. This will be quick. A lizard can get a broken nail. Vets have special tools for solving these problems. Well, hello there. Aww. A vet's tools are made for animals, so they look different from the ones your doctor uses. Your doctor has a scale that's right for your size. But how does a vet weigh a mouse? A vet has a scale that's the perfect size. Looking good. Vets also use many of the same tools that people doctors use. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Everything sounds good. They use a stethoscope for listening to the heart. Does someone want a snack? They have an X-ray machine for seeing bones. Don't worry, Liam. It'll be quick. They also give shots that stop nasty germs.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
See? Over and done with. Goodbye. Liam sure doesn't like shots. He bets most animals don't either. Chapter 3. Good Henry Helpers.
Whoa, look at him go!
No worries for Henry today. His checkup was easy. Dr. Kate says he's healthy.
Oh, good job, Henry. Yay, Henry! Good job, Henry. He's so happy.
That means we're good Henry helpers,
says Ella. Thanks to Dr. Kate, we learn how to take even better care of him.
He looks great.
You kids did a great job today. It feels great when your pet is healthy. But what if a pet gets sick? Good pet helpers call their pets vet. Vets work hard at making their patients better. A healthy pet makes a vet feel great too. Dr. Kate shows us the right foods for Henry. She talks about ways he can get exercise. But most important, she makes us promise to give him lots of love.
Thank you, Dr. Kate. Thank you, Dr. Kate.
It's a promise we always keep. Dr. Kate lends a hand with Henry. So we give our animal helper a hand too.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
eggs. 1, 2, 3. Who will the babies be? One. One egg, big and white, snuggled on Papa's feet in a land of ice and snow. Who will the baby be? One penguin chick, grey and fluffy, peeking out at me. Two. Two eggs stuck together, warmed by a furry tail in a tunnel by a stream. Who will the babies be? Two platypus puggles with bills like ducks, slurping milk like kittens. Three. Three eggs, tiny as jewels, laid by a fluttery mum on tasty plants of green. Who will the babies be? Three creeping caterpillars, munching, 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 then changing into butterflies. Four. Four eggs of sky blue in a nest of grass and mud on a branch in my backyard. Who will the babies be? Four robin chicks with beaks open wide, begging for juicy worms. Five. Five eggs, softly glowing, lighting up the grass on a summer night. Who will the babies be? Five wiggly glowworms, their tiny tails shining, growing up to be fireflies. Six. Six eggs, tiny and round, floating and drifting on a big blue sea. Who will the babies be? Six babies called Fry, eating, eating, eating. And soon they are fish. Seven. Seven eggs, oval and white, buried by two hind feet in the sand by the pond. Who will the babies be? Seven turtle hatchlings with shells tiny and soft, scrambling to the water. Eight. Eight eggs, tough and leathery, hidden in a hollow log, warmed by the summer sun. Who will the babies be? Eight squirmy snakelets, long and slithery, ready to be on their own. 9. 9 eggs, round and black, safe in shimmering jelly floating on the pond. Who will the babies be? 9 frog tadpoles, breathing with feathery gills and swishing finny tails. 10. 10 eggs, bigger than big, laid by the largest bird in the whole wide world. Who will the babies be? 10 ostrich chicks, who will never fly, but oh, can they run. Penguin egg, snake egg, glowworm egg, fish egg, turtle egg, platypus egg, frog egg, butterfly egg, robin egg, ostrich egg. You've counted all the eggs from 1 to 10. Count the babies once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The end.
Does a camel cook spaghetti? Does a camel cook? No, a camel doesn't cook. Camels eat grass and leaves. They can go for a month without food. Does a squirrel cook? Of course not. A squirrel doesn't cook. Squirrels gather nuts and seeds. They eat some and store the rest for the winter. Does a bear cook?
be silly. Bears eat fish, nuts, berries, and honey. If they eat meat, they don't cook it. Does a raccoon cook? No way! Raccoons eat just about everything. Fish, fruit, nuts, and even garbage. Raccoons wash their food with water before they eat it. If they can't find water, they wash their food without it. Does a chimp cook? Nope, chimps don't cook. Unlike other animals, chimps can use tools to find food. A chimp can use a piece of grass to fish termites out of a hole in the ground. But a chimp can't cook those termites. All animals eat, but only humans cook their food. Humans grow fruits and vegetables on farms or in gardens. They raise animals for meat and milk. Humans use many different tools to help them prepare their food. Knives, forks, spoons, pots, pans, stoves, and ovens. People in different countries prepare different kinds of foods. In Japan, they make sushi, which is raw fish and rice wrapped in seaweed. In Italy, they prepare a lot of pasta, such as spaghetti or ravioli. In India, they cook curry using vegetables and spices. In America, many people like to eat hot dogs and hamburgers and French fries. Animals have to eat what they can find in their territory. Giraffes and elephants eat leaves and twigs from the tops of trees. But you won't find them eating watermelon because it doesn't grow where they live. Many people in the world eat the food they grow or hunt or find themselves. But people in some countries can shop at grocery stores to find food from all over the world. Your dinner could come from a farm next door or from a place far across the world. People can even order special foods online when they can't find them in a store. What do you like to eat? Where does it come from? The end.
Before we sleep. As the season turned, the forest was dressed in new colors of rich amber, burned orange, and chestnut brown. Little Red the Fox was happy because now it would be much easier to hide. A fox would be hard to spy among the dried brown leaves, burgundy bushes, and coppery grasses. Only in the open meadow would Hazel the Dormouse be able to catch sight of Little Red. Little Red and Hazel spent hours and hours playing hide and seek together. The two friends loved jumping and rolling in the crisp, dried leaves. They loved the rustling sound. "The leaves are laughing with us," said Hazel joyfully. During these moments of happiness, the cold air hinted of the coming winter. Little Red felt a tinge of sadness. For Red, the smell of winter meant one thing: loneliness. Soon, Little Red's very best friend in the world would settle down in a warm burrow to hibernate. Hazel, perhaps this season you will sleep less, said Little Red hopefully, trying to sound cheerful. Little Red, I am no fox. I am a dormouse. I'd like to stay awake and keep you company, but you know, in the end, I must always sleep. So Little Red started to think of ways to keep Hazel from falling asleep. What if I could make the sun stay high? Then winter would not be so cold. What if I could ask the forest to hold its fruit? Then there would be food all winter long. What if I tickled Hazel to stay awake? Then we could play and play. The dormouse started to yawn. Hazel, I want us to stay together forever, pleaded the friend. Little Red, I promise, when the winter gives way to spring, I will be here for you, and we will play again. I know, Hazel. But before you sleep, may I tell you a story? Why, yes. Oh, as long as it is short, replied Hazel sleepily, with head nodding and eyes closing. So Little Red curled up on the forest floor, and Hazel nestled into the soft, warm tail to listen. But before a word of the story was spoken, the two friends had fallen fast asleep together.
What is a family? What is a family? What do they do? Do all living creatures have families too? Families are groups that take care of their own. Ow, ow, ow. They all stick together to help make a home. Ants have a colony. Bats have a cloud. Chickens have peeps, where they can get loud. Dolphins have pods. And eels have an array. While fish like to swim in their schools, night and day. Gorillas have a band. And hawks have a cast. Iguanas have messes, and they scurry fast. Jays live in parties. Kitties have litters. Lions have prides, where they eat other critters. Mice have their mischiefs. Narwhals of blessing. Oysters have beds. Not for sleeping, I'm guessing. Prickles for porcupines. Bevies for quail. Rumbas for rattlesnakes. And routes for the snail. Turkeys have gangs. Umbrella birds, flocks. And nests are for vipers. They sunbathe on rocks. Wolves run in packs. And Xeras have drays. Yaks roam in herds while they work and they graze. Zebras have zeals. And now you can see, no matter the creature, from A down to Z. Families are special, though not all the same. It's the caring and sharing that gives them the name.
If you don't have Vooks, what are you waiting for? It's a kid-safe, ad-free library full of so many storybooks that are brought to life. Ask your grown-up and start exploring more fun stories like these. You have to go and ask for Vooks. Enjoy the specialties of this app right here. Go on, come on, go off.
Thanks for watching. For more stories, try the Vooks app for free today.